Hello everyone, welcome to my 2017 Level Creek Elementary 3rd grade Curriculum Night PowerPoint overview. This PowerPoint presentation will just give you a little bit of information about myself as well as the class and kind of the curriculum that we're going to be covering. Here's a little bit of information just about me, background, history. My background is mainly in business. Did that for about 15 plus years before transitioning to education. Came to Level Creek in 2014, and also picture my family. We're pretty excited to welcome our newest one, who was born this summer. Uriah is my oldest. He's in kindergarten. He's in the upper left-hand corner, and Ethan is our 3-year-old. And there's my wife, Heather, on the left as well. So just a couple little things about me that you can see there. This article, The Ups and Downs of 3rd grade, is a great kind of lead-in for 3rd grade. Note that in the past, your child may have really excelled in kindergarten, 1st grade, 2nd grade, and as they hit that 3rd grade, that's 4th year of school, they might start to be a little bit more challenged with some things. Just as it says, the curriculum moves away from basic reading instructions. Students are now expected to read independently to learn in the subject areas. And just like I said, it could be a kind of a challenging year for your student, especially compared to the previous years. One of the biggest changes might be also in the area of math. We're moving more into word problems versus just basic computation problems. So that's just an example of one area. The writing is also kind of expected to really grow. We're looking for good punctuation, paragraphs, periods of sentences, capitalization, and using resources to kind of help us with spelling. So those are just some areas that are going to really challenge students this year. Again, I'm excited about the year. I really feel like students are going to do well, and they will grow, but there are some growing pains associated a little bit with 3rd grade. So just continue to encourage your student as we go through the year, and just be aware that getting those kind of challenges and those struggles, it's going to build that adversity that they need throughout life, and also just to help them process on those difficult days when things are difficult. As an educator, as a teacher, it's really important that all students are given the opportunity to learn in the classroom. It's also very important that, for me, that teaching the AKS, the standards, the things that they need to know in 3rd grade, that is very important to me. And also that environment for them is safe and that they are able to share and feel important in that classroom. I want all students to contribute, and I want all students to be feel that it is a safe environment for them to learn. And just the last thing there, it's so important that we keep a good communication between school and home. Let me know if you're seeing things at home, and if there's any way that I can help encourage students at school as well. I am so excited about partnering with you for your child's education and development this year. From your side and from things that you can do at home, these are just some things that would help out quite a bit with reinforcing and accountability at home, as well as some things that I'm trying to do at school with your student. Again, just holding them accountable, reviewing what's coming home, study habits, and also the conduct grades, which will be in the Friday folders. I do send out a weekly newsletter, and obviously, again, there's that item about communicating and just keeping communication open between myself and you, and again, anything that's going on with your child. Just that's really important to have that accountability and that support from you at home. So another one of our communication tools is the planner. Students will have a daily grade. I will sign that at the end of the day, and then if you just would review that for me, sign the planner, send it back. If you have any notes, this is a great place to list notes too. I'll try to review those in the morning. And you can also, like I said, email is also another way for us to communicate. But just review the planner as it comes home. Please sign it. I'm asking every student to have that as part of a routine in their job to make sure that they fill it out, have myself sign it, and then also that they get it signed from you at home. Friday folders and e-class are just another way that we can communicate. Please review your child's work each week. Typically on the Friday folder, I'll send home a bundle of work that has been completed. Just review that, sign it. There'll be a form on the top to sign it and send it back. I'm going to house all the work at school throughout the year, and then I'll send most of it home at the end of the year. Just again, that allows me to kind of review, and if I need to go back and look at something with your student or child, that just allows me to be able to do that. Also, their weekly behavior sheet is on the back of the Friday folder, and then just again, checking email and eClass and the newsletter for announcements. Those things are usually or generally updated on Friday. We are going to continue to use eClass this year. So your student will be able to log in using their student ID, and then it's their initials and the year 2018. So they'll be able to log in from home as well as at school for eClass. On eClass, I will have a copy of my homework calendar, and that will be updated. It's a Google Calendar with homework information. Also, on my Weebly site, which I will mention that here in just a few minutes with the address of that as well. Also on eClass, we will have some discussions. Typically, we'll assign those on Wednesday, and then they will be due the following Wednesday. Just to log in, it's like either answer a question about language arts, math, science, it could be a social studies, but just some additional discussion that we can have using the eClass discussion tool. And again, that's housed on eClass, and there's a discussions tab where that is available. Here's a quick look at our schedule. We'll start off with Writer's Workshop. Reader's Workshop follows. Lunch is at 10:56, recess at 11:26. Our math time picks up after that, science and social studies. We're starting the year in social studies, and then eventually we'll switch for science with Mrs. McCall. Specials are at 2:20, and our dismissal is at 3:20. Here's our class rules, just 5 simple rules. I would say number 1 is probably the most important. They're all important, but I definitely try to emphasize, we talk about being kind to one another, treating others as we would like to be treated as well. Those are just really important things for us to remember in 3rd grade, and probably where my biggest emphasis is. But again, some other things to just make sure that we're following through, doing the things that we should be doing each day in 3rd grade. Here's our conduct expectations for the class. Positive reinforcements are done throughout the day. Weekly grades, again, are going to be S+, S, or S-. E and N are typically going to be rare. Obviously, E is really going above and beyond. N and U would see, if they're on an N or a U, you're going to probably hear from me at the end of the day as quickly as possible as I can get to it. I usually make a phone call, and then if I can't reach you, if I end up leaving you a message, I'll follow up with an email. And then we also do some special class rewards for excellent work, positive referrals, which if you've been at the school are probably well familiar with. And then also some individual recognition. We're calling that Cooperative Positive Behavior, CPB. The CPB would also indicate that the student would end at S+. Again, going back to our rules and expectations, if there's a problem where the student maybe needs to review routines or is off task on something, that would probably be something where I would ask them to go back and review the routines through our class manual, and then also we would reflect an S- for that student for that day. Here's just a few policies for Level Creek attendance and checkout. Also have some information about birthdays. This year, when a student has a birthday, popsicles will be provided for the class by the school. Transportation, just really important that I get an email before the start of school. If it's not, or just in case, a note is always a really good thing to send into, just so that I have that change noted and can make sure to capture that information and communicate it with the office. There's also a note there at the bottom about scholastic book orders. That's just something that I will do periodically throughout the year, and it will be in the Friday folders. Throughout the year, we will have quarterly assessments. Those are every 9 weeks, called district assessments through the county. And then in April is our Georgia Milestones Assessment, GMAS. That assessment, of course, is consisting of multiple choice, short answer, constructive response questions. Here's our grade calculations for the year. Classwork is 50%. Summative assessments, which are unit tests, are 43%. Then our district assessments are a 7% weight of the student's grade. Here's our units of study for social studies. We're starting with math skills, and we'll shortly lead into the study of American Indians. In science, Mrs. Borders will be teaching the class this year. The first unit for science is heat, and the second unit for science is rocks and minerals. Here's a summary of language arts grades. Again, reading testing will be based on the AKS skills that we are learning this year. Answering questions from a passage, a reading passage. Also, our word work will consist of this year looking at Wordly-Wise, which is vocabulary words, and also with spelling. And again, those will consist in alternate weeks, 1 week Wordly-Wise, 1 week spelling. Our reader's workshop will consist of the daily 5 stations: reading to self, listening to the reading, practice writing, reading to someone, and word work. In writing, we'll continue to work through the Lucy Calkins units of study. Each 9 weeks, students are going to be publishing 2 writing samples to be assessed and graded. Those are kind of the more formal pieces. We'll be spending a lot of time getting ready for those, working through different periods of writing. The biggest thing there is that students are writing every day for at least 30 minutes at school, and that's a big, important part of our writing time each day. For math this year, you can see some of our topics on the right, and also that our grades, again, are assessed on specific pages from the math book, as well as, obviously, our summative grades are from each of the unit tests. One of the big challenges this year will be working through word problems. Again, there's not necessarily a computation problem on the test where students are just answering computation problems. Students will be reading in addition to answer a computation question. Another way to say that is the student will have to read to pull out the computation problem of the reading to solve the problem on those unit tests. Here is our specials schedule this year: STEM, music, art, technology, and PE. Specials are on a 6-day rotation. There will be a calendar online listing these as well. The calendar will be accessible through the Weebly site as well as the newsletter. Just a quick note about eating lunch with your child. Lunch will be at 10:56, and also throughout the year, again, this year they will be selling ice cream for $1. Just a quick note about arrival and dismissal. If you are picking your child up early from the day, they're not riding the bus home, or they're not going with car riders at normal time, just that needs to be done before 2:50, before bus call starts. Well, again, thank you for your attention, and I, again, am so excited about this school year. Really looking forward to it with working with your child. If you have any questions, you're always feel free to email me. There's my email at the bottom, timhaxton@gwinnett.k12.ga.us. And also my website there. Again, that's where the homework calendar will be, as well as some resources for your student as well. mrhaxton.weebly.com. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you at Curriculum Night.